Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk 1943. This is the Business Spotlight edition. And as you see, we have another beautiful guest with us, Debbie Krusz, and we're going to be talking about dreams and a lot of things around dreams. So until then, we'll be right back. So let's talk. All right, we are back. We are back. So let me just do my formal introduction with Debbie Krusz. She is a certified life, meditation, and energy healing coach, and her practice is centered around faith in God, and that can't go wrong with that at all. She has a program that actually help you with your dreams. In her program, she writes for individuals to become the best version of themselves by following their dreams on a heart, and she calls it a dream population project. Welcome, Debbie Krusz. Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Regina. Thank you so much for having me. And I
Oh
have to
no.
tell you, you have a really beautiful smile.
Oh, thank you.
Just like right away, I was like, this is going to be a great interview. I love her smile. You have good energy.
Thank
Beautiful.
you. I appreciate that. I receive it. I
Yeah.
receive it. So let's get into this because one of the things that I'm really interested in, because we always talk about dreams, different type of dreams you have, and I know that your program is based around dreams. So let's start off just defining dreams.
Yeah. So it can go in so many different directions, and people get confused. They're like, oh my gosh, does that mean when I dream at night and there was a scary monster following me? That's what it is, or the dream where you're flying and you know um, there's a huge piece of all of that that is very relevant in following your dreams, and
Hmm.
that's an important piece of the process. But when I say follow your dreams, I believe we're all divinely made, and God brought us here for something unique, not to be compared to somebody else or be judged by somebody else. You're here for a unique talent and soul mission. So when I say a dream, I believe that you are giving something of a passion, something that you feel strong about, something that you feel connected to, which is all connected to source. And
Hmm.
that's your dream, that's your vision. And I think when you say dream, people get excited because they all can relate to something.
Hmm.
And I believe that God gave it to you for a reason, and it's centered in your heart. And the world is not always the kindest place, and it tells you no, and you're put down and you're told to do something other than your dream, or that you're not good enough for your dream. And
Hmm.
too many of us live in that space of, I my dream can't come true because I don't deserve it, or I'm not worthy of it, or I don't know how to get there. And I've been through all of those avenues, and I feel that my soul mission is just to help people get there, help them be the best version of themselves, ignite the fire inside of themselves, because that's what
Hmm.
God wants for them. I just did it. And I took a lot of hits, but I also was able to rescue my dreams, and I'm in the process of making them happen. And I just want people to shine their light and know that they are worthy and their dreams can come true. And I just want to
Hmm.
help you get there.
It's so much you can take with this, like you said. Like it's so many levels of this. So I want to ask you, when you think about dreams, you could think about dreams in two ways. Well, two initial ways: daydreaming and your night dreams. So night dreams is subconsciously happening. You don't have control, technically control, because it's of course in your head and things are playing out. But then you have daydreams that you sit there and you just be looking around and you just start daydreaming about how you want your life to be or what you think your perfect mate would be or whatever your dream is, right?
Mhm.
So daydream is more of you kind of dreaming a scenario up in your head. So when you daydream, is that something that you could say, hey, I daydream this and I keep daydreaming this because there's something you're aiming to do. You're aiming to dream about this life you want. And
Mhm.
you're trying to say it's possible for you to have it.
Yeah, and I think you have to. realize, yes, there's a daydream and there's a night dream, and they're related and they're not related, and you can't put those pieces to the puzzle together, right? So I have kind of realized how they're correlated and how it works. So
Mm-hmm.
let's start with the daydream, where let's do the whole princess theory of, there's a prince out there and there's a white picket fence and I could see myself, and all there's, everything's perfect and wonderful. And so there's that daydream of, wow, I want that perfect picture.
Mm-hmm.
But is it the picture? You see a person with you. Is it that person? I dig in deeper to not look at what it's masked with, like what you
Mm-hmm.
see, this prince and this white picket fence, and what is behind that. What do you look like in that daydream? What do you look like in that night dream? And what is it about you in these moments that what is it that you have
Mm-hmm.
in that place, and what is it that you don't have? So a lot of people come up and they're like, well, when I see myself, I look at myself when I had no wrinkles and I was 20, and or I was in perfect shape, or I was living in a big fancy house, and
Mm-hmm.
yes, the prince and whatever. And you have to look at, well, what do you look like today? So you're telling yourself, I don't like who you are right now. I want
Mm-hmm.
that. I want that. I want to be that person. So why can't you be that person? Why are you letting why are you letting the white picket fence, the prince, the big fancy house? Why are you telling yourself, oh, when I have that big fancy house, that's when I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to get saved? Because,
That's when I'm gonna start living, right? I'm gonna start
that's
living
when I'm
after I
going to
get
start
it.
living. That's when I'm going to be thin. When I have a bigger mortgage and I have more rooms to clean, that's going to make me thin. That's going to give me my Prince Charming. And there's all this glamour behind a white picket fence, right? I mean, all those
Mm-hmm.
people are living it. They're in the dream. And it's like, well, do you know what else do you feel in that daydream? Does it look glamorous? Does it feel glamorous? You see it, but are you feeling it? So it's very important to acknowledge those daydreams of what I want. But
Mm-hmm.
what you think you want is a fantasy, right? That's why we call it a fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
You have to look at who you are, of who you want to be in that fantasy, and be that person in that fantasy. Oh, well, I want to look better. All right, so let's look better. So let's see what's happening to you that you don't look and feel better. Is
Mm-hmm.
it the weight? Is it your eating habits? Is it some kind of substance that's going on? Are you taking care of yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Are you the best version of yourself? So when you look in that fantasy, in real life is better than the fantasy. So
Oh.
it's getting you into those mindsets of, oh, well, I have this big fancy job. Okay, well, what's a big fancy job? What does that look like? Oh, well, I can't have that job now because I can't go back to school. I can't. Well, how about I can. How about
Mm-hmm.
I can go back to school? Because you can. And there's a million ways that you can do that. And it feels
Mm-hmm.
impossible and you think it can't, but you can.
You
And do you
can.
have to go to school to have this fancy job? What does fancy job mean to you? Does it mean more money? Because money doesn't answer all your problems. So it's
Mm-hmm.
getting in deep of all these dreams, of all these situations, to make you the best version of yourself by dissecting what that daydream looks like and
Mm-hmm.
understanding that night dream. So we'll get into, if it's okay with you, to talk about that night dream
Oh
where
yeah.
it's like, oh my gosh, I'm flying, I'm screaming, and I can't, nothing comes out, or all of these situations, it's that daydream and reality and what you want kind of all fighting it out, so to say. And
Mm-hmm.
you're really in a subconscious place where you're playing it out, and there's a force pulling you down and a false force pulling you forward, and you're trying to figure it out. So
Right.
it's sort of, they do match, like it all does match and all does come together. And once you can recognize that, of, oh my gosh, okay, I want that fantasy. And these are, it changed for me because
Mm,
I see more of what's realistic and what's tangible. And I can have this and I can be this. But yeah, I need to take care of myself. I need to get into a better health situation. I want
mhm.
to physically look better. And by eating better, my skin looks better. And there's some things that I can do to make that change too. I want to be a few sizes, smaller. And some people want to be a few sizes bigger. It all depends on what you are. I want to get a better job because I don't feel fulfilled in what it is. So
Mm,
you need to get digging deeper what your career should be and get you into that place of that job can be real. That job can be real
yeah.
for you. What's fulfilling to you. And then you'll notice those nighttime dreams when you go to scream, you're able to scream because you have power and control over what your dreams are, but what your heart is saying. And you're flying because you're going somewhere else.
Mm,
It's time
yeah.
you the old you to stay where it is and for the new you to go somewhere else. Now that's very generalizations of things that we all have, and they
Mhm.
not necessarily the flying not doesn't necessarily mean exactly that, but just in a generalization, if you watch and follow what the day fantasy is, what your dream is, and what your nighttime dreams are, you start to see how they all come together and all work together.
Right, they all
And
come. Yeah,
yeah,
they all come together. And I think too, I wanted to touch a couple things you said that sometimes people daydream. Daydream sometimes is procrastination. And why I think that is because a lot of times you get into the escape world and this is things that you want, but you don't apply or you don't work towards. You kind of just do the dream part just to give you a little escape for a while, just to kind of give your brain that little escape. But then you never think you have what it takes to apply to make that happen. Because sometimes people say, you hear like in the movies, people say, "Oh, that's just a dream. Get your head out the clouds." You know,
mhm,
people always trying to bring you back down instead of you saying that, well, look, if you dream it, you could do it. Because if it's in your head to dream, it's possible. So anything you think of is possible because your brain only knows what it could see is possible for it to be happening. So they may don't think it's possible because their brain they're not at that level to see that, but it's not for them to see. It's for you to see, and it's your dream and their dream. Everybody's dreams are totally different. Because I could say I dream on owning a hot dog stand. To me, that's amazing. That's what I want to do. I want to own my own. Somebody like, well, hot dog stand. That's not a dream. Anybody could do that, but nobody could do it like me. That's what I want. See, and that's what a lot of people get confused with. I think a lot of these dream stuff, they are looking for validation from other people to tell them that their dream is good enough to do, or that dream is going to be tangible. It's not for somebody else to do. It's for you to do. And I hear that, and that's why I'm saying it because what you're saying makes total sense. And then your dream could be. This is a question: can your dream be your purpose?
yeah,
It
it
can.
can. It can. It's not a coincidence that you have this dream. I mean, it's given to you for a reason, and these thoughts and feelings are for a reason. It's because it belongs to you. And I love it. A hot dog stand. No,
Well, that was
really.
just an example. It's not
No, I
me.
know it. I love it. I love it because yeah, you know what? Sure, anybody could do it. No, and that's not true. There's a lot of work that goes into that. But yes, it's a very feasible dream for a lot of people. But how many people are going to do it the way you're going to do it? You
That's
know,
right. That's
yeah. And
exactly
I
right.
have there's a park right by where I live, and I go there all the time. And there's food trucks that
Mhm.
are there in and out. And the one guy that has the bait shop because it's also a marina, it was his dream. It was his dream to open up, a food like a food truck, but it's really
Mhm.
just a food stand. It's not a truck, and it's the greatest. I'm like, oh my god, like where have you been? This is like the best hamburger I've ever had. And then I'm like, wait, he makes these chips that he
Mhm.
literally makes them in front of you. Like he literally is peeling the potato right there,
It's so
drops it
good.
into fresh oil. I mean, it's amazing. And it was his dream and it's the greatest. And yeah, there's three other food trucks like right there. And I'm like, no, I want this guy because It's heart and soul. There's no frills or fuss about it.
Mm-hmm.
He's just fulfilling his dream and he loves it and it's great. And that is unique. You know, like, oh, I have to have all this fancy stuff on my burger. It's
Nope.
like, no, you don't.
But
You
see,
just have,
it's everybody
yeah,
has something. Just like you just said, I went out here and I saw these food trucks, right? Think about it. Each of those food trucks is a dream. Everybody
yeah,
who's out there literally started off with dreaming that they were going to own their own truck one day. And
yeah,
they actually applied, implemented, and made it happen. So that's the difference between people who dream only and people who dream with discipline and consistency. So you could start with a dream, but now you're disciplined and consistent to go ahead and fill out that dream with the reality of these food trucks that you see now.
yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Totally. And there's dream crushing. And that's part of my program is to learn how to deal with the dream crushing of that you can't, it doesn't belong to you, you don't deserve it. How are you going
Mm-hmm.
to make that happen? You don't have any money. You can't do this. You can't. So there's a huge level of dream crushing that goes with following your dream.
Mm-hmm.
And I teach people how to navigate through that and to see the seasons of your cycle of a dream and to really play it out and be prepared for the dream crushers, but also be prepared to build your dream team of the people that are going to cheer you on and the people that want to be part of your dream. And the more you have this positivity bubble of
Mm-hmm.
you being supported and fulfilling your dream, you see these people on your team that are like, I could, if you're doing it, I could do it. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
and then, we're all on each other's team and how it just grows. And, I don't know why there's not somebody in office, promoting this program and being like, come on, country, like, let's all be positive and stick by each
Uh-huh.
other and help each other out and get our dreams. And let's get rid of all this ugly and negativity around us.
Sound,
So,
it's too right. It's too good to be right, like they said, right? It's too good to be right. Like it seems like it's that should be the most simplest thing to implement is positivity because everybody likes. Well, I can't say that. Some people do like feeling bad. Like they got into this realm of wanting to be negative all the time because they can't see anything working out for them. But majority of people like positivity, and it's contagious. So if you are positive, you just brought something else up. You said the people around you, right? Your team. That's so important because those dream crushers, you got to be careful. If you're around people who can't see past their face, there's no way they're gonna be able to understand a dream or understand your purpose, right? So you have to kind of look at your tribe, I call them, and you got to kind of put yourself around people like yourself, like minded, that are going to want to, or y'all could dream together and support each other's dreams and be like, okay, we're the crew here. So what is your dream? Okay, I know someone who could help you get started. And then another person can have someone they know to help you get started. Like get around people that help you network, and everybody could say, okay, I understand what you're saying. That's not my dream, but I understand how it is to dream, right? I think that's so important is your try to have the like mindedness of people with you because those killers are so close to you. They could be relatives, spouses, best friends. They are so close into you.
mm-hmm.
Why?
And
Like this question. Why is that? Why are the people that's close to you are the ones that don't support you? That's amazing to me.
yeah, and it is such a common theme. And one thing I was going to point out, and I think it'll answer part of that question is people can only see what they know, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they know what their feelings and emotions are, and they know you, and they know what you're capable of. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people know what you're capable of, know what you're not capable of, or believe both things,
They
what you're
know.
capable of and what you're
Mm-hmm.
not capable of. And that could be beautiful in both directions. And so dream crushers can come, and I look at it at two ways. One, they're afraid of your dream because they don't know how to do it. And they're afraid of, oh, this is going to be hard. And then I'm going to be burdened by this because you're going to fail. And there's also the opposite of they know you can do it and they know you can make it happen. And you are going to make it happen. And they're afraid of being left behind.
There you go. There you
And
go.
that is mostly what it is they're afraid of being left behind because you're going to grow, you're going to be in this high place, and they're afraid that they're going to stay here. And that's why it's important, and part of learning about dream crushing is that is real. And those people have to, just because you are like, I'm going to do this and I have a plan and we're going to put the plan together and we're going to get you in the right place, that doesn't mean that they're ready for it. So there's a whole conditioning of getting your dream team ready, getting your dream team on board. But you can't get people on board if you're not fully on board, if you're not fully confident in yourself that it can
Good
happen,
point.
if you can't talk about it like it's happening and that's it, if you're constantly asking people for permission to make it happen, it's
Mm,
not going to happen, because all that's going to shine is the insecurity of, well, I want to make it happen. And that's why they feel the burden of, great, you're going to leave your job, then I got to get another job to support this dream. And that's all they see, right? Right?
it sounds just like a typical. That's how it goes.
That's how it
That's how
goes.
it goes.
But if you're like, I'm going to, I want to do this. And, with working with me, it's like, put the plan together, get you in that place of confidence, get you in that place that you're ready to make the move. That's
Mm,
when you go to your team. Guys, let's sit down. I want to talk to you. I'm going to open up a hot dog stand, and it's not an ordinary hot dog stand. This is my plan. This is
mhm.
what it's going to look like. And it's going to be the best hot dog stand out there. And we're going to expand. We're going to go national. We're going to do it. And this is my dream. And I'm so excited. And I want you to be on my team. And when you don't give people the option to be like, no, you're not doing that. You're telling them there's no turning back. This is what's happening. And you're confident and you're going to do it. The process of somebody wanting to be on your team is going to be different, because they're going
Right,
to
because they kind of piggybacking off of your confidence. So if you are coming in and saying, "Listen, this is what okay, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna use me. I'm gonna use me as an example. Listen, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing my show. Let's talk. I'm not thinking of it being just here. It's gonna be naturally. It's gonna be global. Global. I'm gonna have entertainers. I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna have that on my show. It's not gonna be just like I'm have to claim it for it, first of all, for me to sell it. If I don't claim it for me, how can you claim it for anyone else? How can somebody else believe in your dream if you don't, well, yeah, I mean, it's just this little thing I do. And, when you downplay it, they're going to downplay it with you
yeah.
and not believe in what you're believing in. Or they'll feel it's just a little hobby, something that you just doing. You're not going to, she'll be over it. She jumps around. And that's another thing, too, about dreams. A lot of times people, you're going through a journey. Your journey is not going to be just cookie cutter one way. Like I could be doing this and this leads me to something else that leads me to something else. It's
Right.
not that if I do this and you do something else, oh, see, I told you she said she gonna do that. Look at that. She didn't keep on doing that. Because that was the part. It was part of the journey. Now I'm doing this because it led me to go, it stair stepped me up. So don't let people get to you either when you have dreams, and your dreams are not in all be all. But see, like you said, if their mindset is little like that and they only could think of it being this one track kind of thing, they're not going to understand that this is just a caliper. This is just something that's bringing me to the next level, right?
Yeah, and you only know what you could see, right? So when I was younger, I saw myself in a doctor's, white coat.
Hmm.
And I was like, I'm going to be a doctor, but I can't stand the sight of blood. And, I can't pass a science class to save my life. So it's going to work out really well. And I was like, but I am going to be a doctor. And, that's all I saw it as. But as I'm in this process now, that dream was crushed by everybody, because exactly they're reminding me of all what I just said. And it was like, oh, I don't deserve it. I can't be it. But all I saw was healing people and healing hearts. And now this is what I'm doing is a dream pollination program is I'm helping people heal their heart. And
Hmm.
that's what I look like to me. And, I'm like, well, where am I going to medical school? And, let's figure that out. But I went into healthcare, and it just was reconfirmation that it wasn't for me. And that was the last job I was in of, this isn't for me. I have to get out of here. I have to leave because this isn't where my heart is. But now I see that that dream that was so crushed meant something and it didn't go away and it kept bringing me into that avenue. And if I
Hmm.
didn't get into healthcare and I didn't move forward in my career, I wouldn't have left my corporate job because of all the reasons of why it wasn't right for me, and
Hmm.
found this avenue of healing hearts and listening to what God was telling me in my heart of, yeah, I want you to heal hearts, but this is what it's going to look like. And I didn't see it this
Emotionally heal, emotionally, not physically heal, emotionally heal hearts, but it's
yeah,
still in the same facet of what you dreamed about. See,
right.
that's the thing. Cause think about it. Cause let's say you had a dream about the coat. You kept dreaming about this white coat, and you wearing this white coat. It's a symbolization of symbolizing the healing, but you wasn't going to heal with your actual hands. You were going to heal with this to help people
Yeah,
with their heart, and
right.
it's the same concept. It's
Yeah.
amazing how God works. It's not, and that's what you said. My favorite scripture is Proverbs 3:5 and 7. No lean into your understanding, trust in God with all your heart, and He will straighten out your crooked path. Like you had to lean in His understanding, because
Yeah.
that you wasn't going to understand that. It
Yeah.
wasn't for you to understand, it was for you to follow and just do what He asked you to do. And later on, He will open up that door to show you that coat meant what we're doing right now, because you're
Yeah.
healing hearts. You still
Yes.
healing hearts, Debbie. You still
Yeah.
healing hearts.
Thank you.
Isn't
Yes.
that amazing?
It's beautiful. I'm so blessed that I finally started listening to God because gosh, I could have been here a lot earlier if I
We
listened.
all, believe me, I just started my journey 3 years ago. Like I listened to him somewhat, but now I'm like really listening to him. And it's a journey just listening to him, because you had to train yourself to listen to him, because you got so used to doing it the way you did it.
Yeah.
So yeah, listening to him is it would save a lot, even though we don't understand it. Because sometimes like this doesn't even make sense. Or why, I met someone or I met a person and I thought this was gonna be a good connection business wise, and then it didn't work out. And then you
Yeah.
go, it wasn't meant for it. It was meant for it's gonna come back later. Just let that go. It's gonna come back later and trust it. Just trust it and let it go.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You gotta learn. So I
The
wanted
trust
to
is every day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
The trust
know.
is an everyday struggle. It can
It
be.
is.
It
It
is.
is. It really is. So I know that you was telling about the program, and I wanted to put this up here as well. To You were saying to book you, and can you just describe and explain to the audience exactly what would they do with this information?
Yeah, so I would love to do a consultation with you. I'm very realistic. The consultation could just answer your some of your questions right then and there. But if we'll define if working together makes sense. I don't like to drag it out and be unrealistic about what it is. So I would love to invite everybody to book some time with me and let's talk about what your dreams are, what your frustrations and feelings, and we could build something, a program to get you to your dreams because it's possible and I believe in you and I know you deserve it.
Yes. So everyone, this information here is to book her, Debbie Cruz, for a consultation, and she'll be able to help you kind of get stuff started, sort it out, and get you on the road of fulfilling your dreams, pursuing your dreams, and living your purpose. So that's what Debbie's here for. So as you hear, like I always say, they know what they're talking about. She gave you all the meats and potatoes of it. So but to do it on a one-to-one basis will really be amazing to see you fulfill your dreams. So, Debbie, thank you so much for joining us today on Let's Talk 1943. And I know that we'll have some people contacting you on getting these dreams started. Do you have
Thank you.
anything you want to share with us before we go today?
Yeah, I also want to offer to all your listeners a free download of my last novel, Soul Meets Body. So it's just an ebook. And just to leave with everybody of your dreams are on your heart for a reason and you are divinely and uniquely made, and I believe in you and I know you can make it happen.
Well, I've been scrolling all the way through her information, so you can go to all her social medias as well as her web address. and our website, excuse me, and be able to contact her to get your free item. So please do that, and she will definitely get back to you as soon as she can. So
Great.
I appreciate you coming up here today. We had a great, great show. Thank you so much.
Thank
Um, and let's go ahead and get these dreams fulfilled. Let's go ahead and get them started. So
Yes.
until time, all right. Till next time, let's talk. I love you. Have a good one.